Good day to each and one of us. At this very moment, we are going to discuss our Venn diagram activity wherein we are tasked to compare the three main theories of sociology, which are the functional, conflict, and symbolic in the context of education. So this activity is actually presented by pair. So before anything else, I would like to introduce myself first. I am Luke in Yungot, and my partner is Miss Gabunales, which will be discussing her parts later on. But for now, let us focus first on the similarities between these three theories. To formally begin our discussion this evening, let us discuss first the similarities between the functionalism and the conflict theory. So despite their differing perspectives, functionalism and conflict theory share commonalities in their views on education. Both theories recognize education as a vital social institution that plays a crucial role in shaping society. They also acknowledge that education contributes to social stratification, although they disagree on the underlying mechanisms. While functionalism sees education as a meritocratic system that sorts individuals based on ability, conflict theory argues that it reinforces class divisions and privileges the wealthy. Furthermore, both theories agree that education prepares individuals for future roles in society. But functionalism views this as a positive process, whereas conflict theory sees it as a perpetuating existing power structures. Ultimately, these shared perspectives highlight the significance of education in shaping societal outcomes, albeit with differing interpretations of its impacts. The next one is the conflict theory and the symbolic interactionist. So despite their distinct approaches, conflict theory and symbolic interactionism share commonalities in their critiques of education. Both theories recognize the presence of inequalities in power dynamics in education, although they focus on different aspects. Conflict theory examines structural inequalities and dominant group control, while symbolic interactionism explores how daily interactions and authority figures shape student experiences. Additionally, both theories acknowledge that education influences identity, with conflict theory linking education to class identity and symbolic interactionism examining how student labels impact self-concept. And the last, but not the least, is the similarities between the functionalism and symbolic interactionism. So despite their differing perspectives, functionalism and symbolic interactionism share commonalities in their views on education. Both theories recognize that education plays a significant role in shaping individuals, with functionalism emphasizing the transmission of skills and values, and symbolic interactionism focusing on the influence of interactions on student development. Additionally, both theories highlight the importance of shared meanings in education, whether through cultural values or symbolic communication. They also acknowledge the role of socialization in schools, although functionalism sees it as a structured process, while symbolic interactionism examines its occurrence through everyday interactions.
Good afternoon. So now let's proceed to the differences of the three main theories of sociology. So let's talk first about the functionalism or the structural functional theory on how or what is the context in this theory about the education. So first, it views the education as a system that maintains social stability. So in here, functionalists see the education as a way to ensure that the society functions smoothly by preparing those individuals for their future goals. So in school, we help maintain order by teaching discipline, responsibility, and even cooperation to our students or to our learners. Second is schools teach skills necessary for the future jobs. So education provides students with essential knowledge, skills, and even training required for the workforce. So this includes both technical skills, like for example in math, aligned in math, science, and literacy, and even soft skills, which is teamwork and also communication between individuals. Third, the functionalist theory views education sorts the individuals into appropriate roles or meritocracy. So in here, functionalists argue that schools' identity students' talents and abilities, placing them in roles best suited to their capabilities. So this is known as meritocracy, where the people succeed based on their hard work and even to their intelligence rather than their backgrounds. So the last part of the context of functionalist theory in education is it promotes social cohesion and shared values. So schools transmit cultural norms and values, reinforcing a sense of unity and shared identity. Nationalism, respect for authority, and moral lessons are embedded in education to maintain harmony and even to our society. So now let's proceed to the symbolic interactionism. So in here, it focuses on daily interactions in the classroom. So instead in this theory, it examines how student-teacher interactions, peer relationships, and also the school experiences that shape the student's learning and self-perception. So in those small interactions can have also a long-term effects on academic success. The other one context is it examines the teacher's expectation and student self-perception, or like it's similar to labeling theory. So in here, teachers' expectations can influence students' performance and also their self-esteem. So if a teacher labels a student as smart, then that student may feel motivated to perform well. And conversely, a student labeled as a troublemaker, then it may internalize that identity and disengage from learning or from school. Third one is the peer interactions also shapes the learning experiences. In here, friendships, bullying, group work, and even social networks play a critical role in students' academic journey. So the positive interaction can boost confidence and engagement, while also the negative ones can lead to feelings of exclusion or academic struggles, like they feel being outcast in the school environment. The last context of how the symbolic interactionist views education is importance of symbols, language, and meaning in education. So in here, schools are full of symbols that influence behavior and social expectations. So for example, the grades, uniforms, classroom seating arrangements, and even school traditions all carry meaning that shapes students' experiences and even the perception of being a successful or being a failure student. So now let's proceed to the conflict theory. So in conflict theory, education reinforces social inequality. So in here, conflict theorists argue that education benefits the wealthy and powerful while disadvantaging the poor. So wealthier students have a better access to quality schools, quality educations, and also the advanced resources. And together with that is the extracurricular opportunities, widening the social gap between the rich and also the poor students. Next to that is schools serve the interests of the dominant class. So in the conflict theory, the education system is structured in a way that benefits those in power, ensuring that the working class remains in lower paying jobs, while the elite retain control over economic and even the political resources. So the third one in conflict theory is wherein there is an unequal access to resources that creates a gap between the rich and poor students. So it's more like similar to the first one. So in here, wealthy schools often have a better facilities, more qualified teachers, and their technology is also advanced. Whereas to those underfunded schools, they struggles with outdated textbooks and overcrowded classrooms. So this kind of gap in resources affects the students' future opportunities and even to their learning. So it is more like similar to the private and public schools. So in the last one, last context in conflict theory is in education is the hidden curriculum teaches obedience and social hierarchy. So in here, beyond academic subjects, the schools also subtly teach students to follow authority and also to conform to societal norms and accept their position in the social structure. So for example to this is if the students from lower income backgrounds are often prepared for blue collar jobs, so it's much more it's like expected jobs, while the wealthier students are encouraged to pursue leadership roles. So more like it's about industrial management, or like it's more like those higher positions. Now I'm going to talk about the very common on those three main theories of sociology. So first is those theories recognize that education plays a role in shaping individuals and our society. So whether through stability or the functionalism, inequality or the conflict theory, or interaction, which is the symbolic interactionism, those three theories agrees that education influences the people's life and even their social roles. So the second is those theories acknowledges the influence of social structures, interactions, and inequalities. So functionalists focus on how education benefits society as a whole, while the conflict theories highlights its role in reinforcing class divisions. And the symbolic interactionists study the micro-level effects of social interaction. So they are connected to each other. In third, or the last one is, they all analyze how education impacts social mobility and identity formation. Functionalism sees education as a tool for upward mobility, while the conflict theory argues that it perpetuates inequality, and symbolic interactionism explores how students develop their self-identity through schooling, so through education.